Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Cheesadelphia Summer 2016, proudly sponsored by Sloth Esports.
Hello.
SlothEsports.com. How you doing, Patience the Sloth? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm just hanging out at the zoo.
Oh, no way. Which zoo?
At the Binghamton Zoo.
That's a good zoo. You know, if you go to SlothEsports.com and buy a mouse pad or a shirt, anything you buy will go some of the proceeds to Patience the Sloth at the Binghamton Zoo.
I have a feeling a sloth wouldn't sound like that. I feel like it would be more
I'm
hanging out.
We can convince everyone
Frozen
we're on
Temple.
time
5.
Let's get
All right,
into
let's
this
go,
game
fam.
coming
We're
up
gonna
right
go
here.
into Frozen Temple.
We got Potassium and the non-potassium player here.
Well, the non-potassium player here, maybe high in other vitamins and whatnot,
And
is
minerals.
Storm Gaming's own True. And birthday cake, too. Everybody likes birthday cake, even when it's not your birthday.
Everybody loves it.
I think it's better to eat other
Except when
people's
it's
birthday
gold,
cake.
solid gold birthday cake in StarCraft. No, it's not as fun. But here in the bottom right-hand corner, representing Team Ascension, it is the yellow Protoss. OMG, a banana.
And you notice that he does have some bananas on his desk. We ran into him earlier today, and we're just like, bro, you know what you need to do. We didn't
How do
even
you
say
play
anything.
without bananas? We just said, you know what you need to do? And he said yes, ran to the store, came back, and had a thing of bananas with him.
Yep. So here we have
Classic OMG. Classic. Ugh.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Well, here's our probe scout. We will note that we are in the round of 8 currently. So these players have made money this time. In the previous Cheesadelphias, we have not had a 5th to 8th prize payout, but this time we do. So they're finally in the money. Even if OMG Banana or True is knocked out, they will make a little bit.
Indeed. And, you know, I don't know if True and OMG Banana have played. And it always comes down to being a more visible player, such as True.
Get the kick home. You got this.
He's
you got this.
taking it home, man. He's actually going to bring it to the third of True in order to try to block it as best as he can. I don't know if he's going to go for the pylon, but he probably will be as annoying as possible while balancing a cake. I don't even think probes have hands, man.
They do not have hands. But right there, looks like the third hatch will go down for True. Nice little annoyment coming out of OMG a banana. And one funny thing, though, that could happen with that is, remember, we did see yesterday one game where 2 hatches were blocked. And then there was a hatch really far away made, which actually helped out the Zerg player in a base trade scenario, whereas base race was really far away. So some funny things can happen. You may think it's helping you, but you can end up inadvertently helping your opponent.
Yeah. Don't block hatcheries, man. Just
It's
simple
scary.
and plain.
It's too much.
Nah, it was actually really funny how Suppy was talking about that. For those wondering, also in the bracket, Bales did get redemption and took out Suppy and advancing to the round of 8. So he does have a chance to retain that championship here at Cheesadelphia because he did win the first one. So as the openers are here, we kind of been talking about everything else, but it is going to be a Stargate coming out of Banana. While True did get that third hatchery up, he pulled completely out of gas at the same time. So he's only going to be focusing on queens and drones, maybe even a lot of lings here, but it's not going to be the Overlord drops really, really fast.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that actually culminates. We've seen True's ZVT, and now how it's going to come into ZvP, whether or not he will go for those drops against Stargate. Of course, he does not know Stargate quite yet, but he does like getting Overlord speed. Maybe that was only for ZVT, though. We'll have to see if he gets that again. He likes that slow play, but there's the first Overlord and the second Overlord heading up into that main base to spot what will be an Oracle coming out. At the same time, 2 gates are going down. It's normally just for your macro state as a Protoss at this moment. However, with those 2 gates finishing up, you can do some Adept stuff, which we've seen previously in the tournament. Oracle into Adept. Try to get as many kills as you can to throw your opponent off and play it safe, since you do have the wall already at your natural to defend a counterattack.
Yeah, and I'm
There's the
not
scout.
sure how OMG Banana likes to play, because there are some Protoss players that will go for the Stargate opener and then follow it up with maybe a lot of Adepts with some Phoenixes. But, you know, we were seeing even Bales, he liked to open up with the Adept and then go into the third base, very, very macro-oriented. However, we don't, Bananas are capable of many things, man. So
We don't know how Banana plays yet. We even thought he was a Smurf for a while, or at least playing a player playing under an alternate name earlier in the tournament. 1 Oracle is over on the other side of the map. Another Oracle is on the way, and right as 7 drones are finishing up, that Oracle may be able to find a nice sweet spot. However, there is enough queens, 1 at the natural, 1 at the third, 2 in the main, to be able to defend.
Yeah, this is how True likes to play, though. I think he's even delaying his lair by a lot. I've seen a lot of Zerg players, they're like, hey, I'm going to go for my lair super quick because Protoss, I need that tech. True, all he needs are queens. He's all about the baby girls. He's just like, you know what? As long as I get a lot of queens, he's safe from a lot of adepts. Oracles aren't going to be that effective either. And he doesn't have to worry about using his larva because he can make drones with them instead of just using lings as a way to spend his larva, I would say.
Lings are cleaned up, but they did manage to spot a probe at the 3rd Nexus, so he knows that he can go for that layer if he decides to, but also he knows that he can start using that creep. He doesn't need to save up a lot of energy on each of those queens to defend, at least at the moment. But, of course, he does need to have a counterattack set up, which looks like on the left-hand side of the map. True is getting that ready with Lings, and that's basically how he's played out his ZvT2. Right as the army moves out, instead of defending, the best defense, a phenomenal offense. But the 2 Oracles are at home, which can easily shred a lot of Lings if they choose to do so.
This is insane. True has not mined gas for so long, and he's just making nothing but Lings as well as queens. And that was a beautiful stasis ward.
Beautiful stasis ward. And another one actually is still in the mineral line if those Lings try to dive onto any probes that are transferred there at the 3rd base. But now we have queens defending. Looks like in total we have 5, 6, 7 queens to hold. Not a lot of energy, but we have even more in the main. There's just a
yeah,
I can't even say the word right now. It's just too many. It's too many queens right here.
It's a lot. It's a buttload of queens going on.
Amount of queens
like, look
right
at that.
here.
That's crazy, man. That's like a Mary Kay party right there.
There's 13 queens right
13
there.
queens.
I love it. I love it a lot. And us earlier, I was talking about, he's got 2 queens in his main, 1 in his 3rd. Then I looked and was like, wait a second, there's 3 in each. Wait, there's 3 in each. Oh, wait, there's 3 in each? What?
Yeah,
what is this style? And I guess it will come together to play pretty well against those Oracles, but it's not going to be a Phoenix play off the back of this. This is his opener, and he is easily going to transition into a Blink, +1, and a robotics facility. Ooh, another nice stasis ward catch.
Yeah, he put it down in his mineral line, so he figures that True's always going to come from the bottom side. And then I believe, that's actually the top one. So he still should have another stasis ward inside of his 3rd mineral line.
I love that he's droning, by the way, right now. True is still droning.
You know why? Because he's not mining. Now he's starting to finally mine gas. He got every one of his gases except for 1 inside of the main. So he's delayed gas until almost the 7-minute mark. And, I mean, it's working out for him. He's at 75 drones. He doesn't need to worry about drones for the rest of the game.
At that point, with that production and that income, you can almost just keep flooding Lings, especially when you have +1 on the way, +1 melee, starting to mine gas to go with a Baneling Nest, layers on the way, and the early queen opener simply rebuked anything that came to it. The Adepts, they could not engage into that, and now he's kind of just claiming the map as his own.
That is a really, really cool style, and I don't think a Banana has probably run up against it too often. So he's figuring out a way to deal with it, and his way, take that 3rd base, not worry too much. He hasn't committed to any real pushes just yet. I think that big Adept push was basically the only one.
Oh, we have a DT Shrine, though, on the way. He's trying to get a little edge in any way he can as Protoss. Charge is also on the way, but it's spreading him a little bit thin, especially when he has such a heavy sentry count. He's got to be careful to be able to warp in Adepts. He needs that room to be able to warp in a meat shield to accompany them, or even the DPS. Hallucinated Phoenix does spot these Queens, Lings, and Banelings going to the defense of the 4th base.
Yep, and here we go. Overlord drops are also on the way. He knows that the force fields of the sentries are going to be very good. Here come the Queens getting force fielded out. He's going to transfuse at least the top one.
Oh, but the Baneling drops coming on him. Looks over 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Banelings, and it's not going to be enough.
He doesn't want any of that, as the force fields do not do anything against that. Wow. I think he's just going to kind of sit back, wait for the DTs to come out. But I don't even think that True had Spore Crawlers in his mineral lines. He was so focused on defending the air with the Queens that he's like, I don't need a Spore
I don't need them right there. I mean, when you have 3 Queens at each base, and they weren't spreading creep, remember that, they were not spreading creep in the early game. They were ready to transfuse against an all-in, and I think this is really True has no idea. How does omgbanana play? We do not know. Stasis Ward goes off. A beautiful defense by omgbanana, but more importantly in this game, I'm surprised how well he's defended. He's only lost 2 workers. In previous games we've seen True versus anyone has just destroyed all the workers, all the mineral lines have gone down. The counterattacks have not been successful. Maybe this could be the first attack that is successful for True. Beautiful force fields come out of omgbanana, but he does not have the DPS, and he's using Zealots. Remember, he got shards. Those are not Adepts. He did not get Resonating Glaives. There's the teleport home, and he's in a hairy situation without Resonating Glaives, trying to fight with force fields.
He gets all of his units out in the nick of time, but I mean, now he has to defend at the 4th base with against a lot of Lings and Banes. And even though they don't have the Baneling speed just yet, that is so many Lings.
At this point, True is truly the swarm right here, moving on into that 4th base. So many Banelings, so many Lings. A couple nice force fields do manage to kill Lings, but again, there's not that much damage coming out of the army right now of omgbanana.
Well,
he's got to be super careful, but he does have DTs.
Yeah, and they're going to go for the 4th base here at the top. Now, True does have another base at the bottom, And where is it? I don't even know if there's an overseer
Hey man, when
out
you have
just
queens,
yet.
you just transfuse it. You don't even need to have the overseer. You never kill the
You just transfuse
DTs.
every single
Keep
unit, right? You're
transfusing.
like, oh. Well, here come the overseers to the rescue, and they will be able to take out the DTs. Dark Templar not getting as much damage as they would like to get done. And now they've been revealed.
Oh, the natural base. Looks like there's a Baneling drop. Picks up 8 worker kills. Beautiful. And even though before I was talking about there was not that much DPS. Oh, I like it. You gonna do anything? You gonna do anything? Oh, he could have dropped him on the High Templars. Why not? Takes out so many High Templars. What does it say right there is that Banana was aiming towards to get his DPS out of the storm, out of the AoE to be able to get beautiful force fields, storm the Lings. But at this point, it's getting a little iffy, and that's an iffy storm. The Lings can easily bypass that. Sometimes you want a little bit more of a sustainable DPS, Archons or Colossus. But at this point, it's not quite coming together. I like the storm, but those force fields have to land perfectly.
They do.
Versus a player that truly is the swarm. Lings everywhere, and another Baneling drop.
Another Baneling drop into the natural. And down go a few more probes. Not too many, I guess. So not too bad, right? For 3. Banana trying to get the Warp Prism. He does have a good counterattack on the left as well. So multi-pronged aggression coming out of Banana. True wondering where it is that he wants to defend. What is the most important spot to take this engagement?
Well, I think right where Banana is right now is one of the better spots for him because he can get some nice force fields. There's a semi-choke, pretty big, but at least he's a choke right there. On the other side, on the top part of the map, we have a Warp Prism. It's going to have to move out after it spots the Lurker Den. It's going to start to get very scary for Banana because he wants to be able to force field in the location and hold that location for a while. And then the Banelings can't touch him. However, there's now Hydralisks. Do they have range? Looks like the Hydralisks do not have range at this point. But still, you have Lurkers right for the Lurkers, and you cannot hold position and fight in a long time in the areas. And that's traditionally how OMG Banana has been fighting right here.
Man, the Lurkers are going to provide space control, and then the Lings and the Banes are just going to be able to swarm around everything that Banana does have. So, True has no problem here right now, it seems, with Banana taking a 4th. He hasn't really tried to counterattack it just yet. I think he's just trying to mess around with the economy and then get his forces out, and then kind of push and suffocate him with the Lurkers. But he's on the opposite side of the map!
88 Banelings go to the top right-hand corner of the map, and as that happens, Banana is going to make a desperate dive into the natural base and try to get a good position in that choke point with force. But still, there is a lot of Lurkers currently out of the map. There is 12 Lurkers. Zealot's finding an interesting location right here. There's no teleport home. One good storm, and the entire army almost moves straight through that. We could see some more storms would be phenomenal, but looks like those are the only High Templar he had in that main army. There is one Archon too, but Lurkers are starting to get in a good position. Do we even have an observer?
God, no, this is going to get ugly
right here.
It's going to get ugly, True. I don't even think that Banana has any detection. And the Lurkers have burrowed. Oh my God, Banana losing everything right now. Trying to get the hell on out of there.
Oh man, one slight misstep, and while all that is happening, there's also an attack happening at the third base of OMG Banana. Looks like there's some Overlord drops, some Banelings. Cannons will push that back, but really taxing the multitasking of Banana. I think he lost that Mothership Core because he did go back home, did try to pull his workers out of the way, but that's not going to be enough. Oh, Stasis Ward goes off, but the other Baneling was delayed just by a couple seconds, drops, and ends up killing even more workers.
He's just chilling. He's waiting for his time to shine. But I like the DT harassment. He's not stopping with it, but he's at the point where he's lost so much of his economy that True is just going to continue to flood these Lings and Banes. He's barely even gone up to any real Lair Tech units aside from the Lurkers.
And even now those Lurkers, they are playing it safe. They are back at home making sure that another attack's not coming. That is giving a little bit of time for OMG Banana, but I fear that when those Lurkers do decide to move out like they are on the left-hand side after cleaning up those DTs, he's not going to have the Immortals. He's not going to have really anything. He'll have those Stasis Wards, but that is a very iffy chance. These Archons have to be super careful. Looks like 2 Lings go off on the Stasis Ward. Another beautiful Stasis Ward, but there's not that much army right here. They got to be super careful about how they take this engagement. Revelation does show the Lurkers, though.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can see them, it doesn't matter. You can see them kill you just a little bit clearer. Archons can't even get in range, and now the Lurkers are going to go on the bottom side, realizing that there's really not a lot there to kill.
GG, well played. True takes game 1, but I really thought for a while there, even though True had an army supply lead and a population lead, that OMG Banana could do some damage. He was making some good plays, and nope. Eating a banana, making sure he's got his potassium before the next game goes down. But I loved what he was doing, how he was trying to do it. He got up to that storm, and then you saw the Baneling drops. He had, I think, two big things that happened in that game. Baneling drops straight into his High Templars. Remember that? He just warped them in, and for a second we think, oh, well, the army's already there, but no, those are taken out. And then there's another Baneling drop. Both things are caused by Baneling drops at his third base while he's in the attack, and he loses his Mothership Core.
Yeah, losing that Mothership Core means that, like, going into the corner, he has no escape route. Did he just take a bite out of the M?
He did take a bite.
Out of the M?
Oh, not out of the M, but
Okay.
he took a bite out of the end of the banana. Yeah.
He did. The end of the banana. So that's game number 1. Oh, hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Grandma. Hey, everybody.
So, yeah, game number 1, True does take it very, very similar fashion, where he's just like, Ling Banes everywhere. Do you know how long he delayed his lair for? It was about 7 minutes, maybe 8 minutes.
It's a long time. And you got to remember, even in the ZvT style, it was very similar to the ZvT style, but he didn't make 12, 13 queens at the beginning of that. Now he's just crazy. Kept making queens, and I guess I'm trying to think of if there's any attack early game that a Protoss can do that would stop that, other than a proxy, because really with those 12 queens coming out, I mean, maybe you have an Adept all-in or something like that, and that just shuts that down. There's so many different things that can work.
What do you do?
That's a style that you see that, and you think, oh, he's got an opening. He doesn't have that much army, but you can't punish it.
I think early DTs...
Player of that caliber.
If you knew that he played like that, early DTs would probably be pretty good. Because he delays the lair for so long. He didn't make any Spore Crawlers at all. You can't really go Oracle because there's too many queens. But DTs...
Exactly.
They would be able to pretty much eviscerate the competition.
Yeah, eviscerate
just
them
like
Sloth Esports would. If you use it, you can get +1 APM, and that could be the difference between beating Pult or Patience, the two-toed Sloth.
It's a real sloth, by the way. You think we're
real
kidding?
Sloth. We're not kidding at all.
If you go to the Binghamton Zoo, a lot of the
Sloth
proceeds
sponsors
from
us.
Sloth Esports does go to supporting Patience, the two-toed sloth.
Up next, we have another PvZ, of course, True versus omgbanana on King Sejong. Just a note about that last game is he did start producing those queens after the Scout of the Stargate, so that was a reactionary choice from True, deviating from his normal play and hard countering the Stargate opener.
Yeah, I know, you're absolutely right. It wasn't like True was just like, I'm going to make some queens today, but hey, maybe that's just what he really wants to do, his true passion. Right, this guy in the bottom right-hand corner, representing Psystorm Gaming, up by 1. One of the favorites to win the tournament, it is True.
And his underdog in the top left-hand corner, representing Team Ascension, the yellow Protoss player, OMG, a banana.
Banana.
Fighting hard in that last game. I loved what I saw. Just a note, this is in the round of 8 currently. These players are in the money, and they're fighting for really just a spot in the first, second, third, or fourth place.
Yes, right in the semifinals. If they can make it, they will be making even more money. And also have the prestige of taking a top 4 at Cheesadelphia.
Very prestigious in the North American scene right now. Very prestigious.
Well, it's one of, I mean, honestly, I'm not trying to say shots fired, but they were saying that Cheesadelphia had some of the best production, even rivaling some of those.
And that was Twitch chat. That's not us. We are just quoting Twitch chat right here.
I'm not naming any names.
Quoting some Twitch chat commentary, but at least for now, it looks like we had the drone trying to deny whatever it could, goes and takes the extractor, which is really going to be annoying for omgbanana, especially if he did want to go for a Stargate opener again. That's going to hurt him. But in retaliation, he's going to try to block the third hatch of True.
Yep, and we saw this be kind of a nuisance yesterday to Bales, and there he goes, gets that hatchery down. But True taking this gas. Let's see if he lets it finish or if he's going to cancel it to Scout. And he lets it finish. So a little bit annoying there for Banana. I'm sure he would like to take that gas now. And his Nexus at the natural location. Going to be a little bit late. Well, at least not at the time he would like to be mining the gas from it.
Well, at least the ramifications of that assimilator is, as I was mentioning, the lack of that assimilator is going to mean robotics facility, Stargate, whatever tech path he chooses to go down, even a mothership core is going to be heavily delayed.
Yep.
Now, it looks like True isn't going to quite capitalize off that with taking his third hatch, but he feels very comfortable in that very macro-heavy style, and then he floodlings, but even so with that, he still is going to be able to delay his opponent's omgbanana's tech quite severely, and you're not going to be able to see any of the two-base plays that maybe try to do snipe a base on this map with that small extractor. But of course, he can kind of equalize from that with his natural base, getting 2 gases quickly. We'll see how that affects the overall game, though, once True starts putting on the pressure.
Indeed, we will. I'm seeing this Twilight Council here coming out of Banana, and I'm wondering where he's gonna be going with it. Will he go for that kind of Adept style, or he is going to get the resonating glaives right now.
I like that. I like that a lot. Now, you do cut into your gas count if you want to go sentries with it, but at least when you do the force fields, as we've seen him like to do, he will have that damage. He will have that range damage to force field and hold a position against lings.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just me. Did you hear game sounds? The game. I wasn't sure if the game sounds.
I've never heard game sounds. I've always been casting.
Did I just notice it? Okay. Thanks. All right, I was gonna say this is our chance to see if True is gonna scout Twilight and still make a ton of queens, or if he's gonna scout Twilight and then you see this reaction a little bit different than last time. It is indeed the Roach Warren.
I like that, and I mean, when there's no tanks,
Yeah.
as True says, go Roach Warren.
So that's actually with that matchup. Well, this is the best response that you can do here against a Twilight opener. Even if it's going to be Blink Stalkers, Ravagers are pretty nice against it. Right now we see Resonating Glaives as the upgrade for the Adepts. Allows them to attack a little bit faster, and they can be really, really effective against Lings and Banes, but that's what True was going for last time, right?
Yeah. He is switching it up now. I'm curious if he got a scout. Looks like he did get a scout with an Overlord diving in on the left-hand side. If you see the look at the mini-map, there's that one Overlord. And an Overlord spots the Adepts move out. So really, right now, even though True is playing a style we haven't seen him play, and maybe he's not as comfortable with, he has the exact scout he needs to see and is going to be able to shut this down relatively easily.
I would say so. He stopped at about 46 drones. He didn't go up too high or saturate the third base. After the scout, he knows exactly, okay, I need units right now because Banana is going to be hitting pretty hard. This kind of push, if you're not ready for it, can end the game. We saw it do so much damage to ZvP yesterday when Bales did it the first time.
Oh, Roaches are lured very far out off creep. It looks like the Adepts are going to get into the natural base. Mineral line. Lings are here to defend. Adepts shade into the main base. Drones are going to fall back into that main base, interestingly enough. But now there's just enough army for True to split it up. Roaches going back into the main after those Lings do a significant amount of damage to the Adepts. But the Adepts still going for as many kills as they can. 5 kills have been picked up so far in this game. And it looks like we are at 39 drones to the 47 probes of omgbanana. But off the back of this, he's going to follow up with an Oracle.
This is going to catch True off guard. What a really smart move out of Banana. Going to be getting so many drones because there is no defense here aside from this queen. With the help of her sister, perhaps they can take it out, and he's going to get on out of there.
Ooh, and a Void Ray off the back of this. I love that decision against Roaches especially.
You're right. This is really cool out of Banana. I don't think you would have expected that. Because usually what people do follow it up with is the quick third into Robo. So
I actually was watching omgbanana a little bit earlier when he was practicing PVZs, and I sat down, and then the victory screen shows up, and he turns to me and says, Adept Void Ray, good unit.
Oh.
That's what he went for, so we'll see if that's what happens. But right now he has to worry about the good unit, a.k.a. Lings getting a false around on that third Nexus. Double foot and overcharge does go off, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to actually deny these Lings. Pulsar Beam here, too, will be just enough to convince these Lings to fall back. But still, that's a very squishy army of omgbanana. He has to wait a while till he moves out again, and for now will be on full defense, while True knows that, and is starting to drone again, get his +1 melee upgrade, and play it safe.
Yeah, and he's also going to drop the Baneling Nest, so he will at least be making some more of those. And if he's, say Banana goes for a lot of Void Rays and very tech-heavy units, I don't think he's going to have as many of the sentries on the ground as he used to. So, True might not even need to go for the drops as much as he did before. Maybe to go for the mineral line, but here we go.
One thing, though, with DTs, yes, there's splash damage from the Banelings, but if he is going DTs, he can have a little bit easier of a time saying warping in DTs at his third base, because you have a situation where multiple fights are going on the map, and the DT is one of the few units that you can say, okay, I'm going to warp that in, not worry about it. Warp it in, let it do its thing, let's go back to the main fight and fight it. So I like that decision as an offensive tool for him against a multi-pronged Zerg that True has shown us to be.
Yeah. Huh. I'm still wondering if he were to go DTs, Chrono Boost his Twilight Council so that when True...
Whoa! Beautiful
nice.
Stasis Ward, and True is going to fall completely back.
Yeah, he knows that True likes to go for these counterattacks, so he might even sit around those Lings. And if True realizes that, then maybe he'll go for a counterattack elsewhere.
Lings find another target. Gonna kill the pylon.
Yeah, down it goes, and into the natural the Lings go. Sentry gonna at least be able to force field here. Very solid defense out of Banana right now. Like, he's playing incredibly well, and you know that True. He's only on 48 drones. It's not like he has, okay, 55 now, but it's not like he has a really big economic lead.
He just stopped droning, as we were talking about that, and he's starting to push out a lot of Lings. 3 Dropper Lords, 2, +1 melee is just finishing now, so everything is culminating well for him for an attack. Looks like there's 31 Lings currently out of the map, 6 Roaches. A kind of meager army for what he is used to. However, you got to look at the minimap down there and see how many bases he has. They are incredibly spread out there, though, so a Warp Prism, as we're seeing out of omgbanana, could prove disastrous for him. But we see a counterattack on the right-hand side as Banana moves out, and excellent. Looks like Banana's actually going to spot that large Ling amount and maybe get in a good position to defend it. Blink, only a few seconds away.
Oh, man, he's going to go for it. He does have +1. +2 is on the way. And where were those Overlords with the drops? I think they were in the natural. He hasn't loaded them up yet, and there they go. So it's going to be pure Baneling right now, and Banana's going to go to this attack. And if he doesn't see this counterattack as well as the Baneling drop, he might take a lot of damage and then be forced to go all in. Here's a big counterattack, though. Where's the Mothership Core? Oracles are going to actually do the defense here.
Stasis Ward,
oh my
beautiful.
Gosh.
I love that. This is a situation where sometimes the DTs can do wonders, but the Pulsar Beam is going to be there. I love the decision of True. After he doesn't see any movement to the top right-hand base, he instantly transitions down to the bottom left to hold that base against a large Protoss army. Are there any observers? I assume maybe that there's an observer with that main force. There is, looking to take out any of those creep tremors, just stopping this creep spread, which is phenomenal of True, allowing Banana to get a little bit forward, more damage. But now he's got to worry about the Overlords getting straight on top of him. For now, the Overlord's actually coming from behind. There's a teleport home. Drop. And OMG Banana teleports to his third base to solidify the defense after killing 16 drones in the main base.
There are DTs inside of the natural as well as the main of True, just obliterating everything that he had mining there. And True, so focused on dealing with that push that he ended up letting himself be vulnerable for a second. Losing 20 drones?
That is a lot in total. Yeah, 30 workers have gone down. Banana has done a wonderful time of killing the workers. At the moment, we have 45 drones to almost 70 probes. But the Baneling drop, and Banana comes here in time. Blink is done. He could blink underneath that and try to take it out. One Baneling goes down, but will there be enough? Oh, there's a blink backwards. Interesting decision from Banana.
Oh, man, I think he's going to get it away. And now True did get a good amount there.
Stalkers,
run!
Go Stalkers!
Run,
go Stalkers!
protect the cake!
At this point, maybe you're worrying about a counterattack on the right-hand
Protect
side because of the freak, but you got the Stalker. Oh, there he does it.
Jeez Louise, I thought that he was going to lose so many probes right there, but you know what? He doesn't lose that many. There is going to be another drop here, but keep in mind, Banana has been doing this so well, and his army value is starting to get pretty scary, especially with the upgrades.
Even gets a Stalker there, right, as he's watching the minimap. I mean, he has got phenomenal map awareness.
Yeah, it might be time, though, for him to actually push True. Because True is so focused on dealing with, or at least getting the attention of Banana, that Banana can't forget that he does have a pretty decent advantage right now. Oh my God, they're rolling.
Stalkers blink. Looks like they're going to focus down the Overlord first, and then the Banelings go off on a lot of workers. But at the same time, Banelings going to go straight headlong in a couple charge lots. Not too many blinks back. However, we are starting to see a small transition out of Banana to move into Archons. Another Baneling attack. Hey, True is saying, you know what? If you're going to attack me, I will put the pressure on you, and finally gets a big attack while OMG Banana was focusing on his main army. And a Warp Prison in the bottom right. Looks like it's going to do a drop or something in the main base. See if it does anything.
He's going to continue to do that? Back. Oh, Drenok. That's a lot of Queens and Lings at the moment. But the Archons are going to do incredibly well against the Lings in that tight corridor. So I think Banana needs to go. Like, he can't just go back home and chill, I don't think.
He had an army lead for a while, but with those final hits happening, he's got to be careful. But he's going to bring every single Ling, 150 Lings, go to the main base, leaving that third, I don't even know what to call it, the fourth base, to die.
Yeah, I don't know if the top right one, but wow, that allows the DTs to go right into the natural base. Their Queens are all alone as well, but they do have transfuses for each other. And Banana, he's doing an incredible job. I mean, I really got to give props to this kid right now. You know, he's doing probably the best that I've seen anybody do against True just so far.
But the 145 Ling counterattack with +2 can potentially be devastating. Looks like OMG Banana is going to go on the offensive. True goes to attack the top right. And does he split up the Lings, or does the main Lings go to the top right? Looks like he does split up some of the Lings. Pulsar Beam, a couple will be here. I don't know how many stasis wards he's been making, but he's been very diligent about that. I love that about Banana.
He has been, yeah, you're absolutely right. And more DTs, something that he's been diligent about. Into the main, Banana being very, very cautious right now. Doesn't want to step too far out and throw away his whole army because he's actually doing great economic damage to True, but True is equalizing as well. So 38 drones to 42 at the moment.
DT's engaged in this remarkable amount of Lings right there.
That base is going down, man. I don't think True is going to get there in time.
It goes down, but at the same time right now, Banana has been trying to secure his fourth base for a long time, but even more so for True, he's been securing a fourth base, he's been securing a fifth base, and each time they've been sniped, but he never quite utilized them. They were just extra larvae, so now I do not know on 3 bases if he can manage to keep warping in, or pardon me, I don't even know what you call it for Zerg. Morphing in.
Morphing in, yeah, true.
I don't know, even keep morphing in as much larva. He just does not have the larva to produce Lings this heavy. Now he's finally getting a Hydralisk Den out. He's finally trying to transition to something else, but still, OMG Banana has been holding on incredibly valiantly against True. The really huge seed in this tournament.
Favorite, I would say, right? Yeah. A lot of people saying True gonna win it out, but nobody really was like, yeah, that Banana kid, he's gonna come through, you know, just.
I mean, even as we said, we saw him pretty highly seeded in this tournament. He was in the top 16. We said, is that guy a Smurf? I don't even know. Is he a different name? Like, we didn't even know who he was. playing. He said he plays a lot on the Korean server, so he definitely trains against highly skilled Zerg players akin to True.
Exactly, and this is him showing that kind of very methodical play. Never really one-trick ponying it at the moment. So
double pulsar beam, is it enough? Stasis ward maybe? Looks like
I don't think
there's no
enough energy. Yeah, down goes that base.
Oh, and so quickly it dies. Those slings incredibly strong.
So this is it's actually kind of a weird situation because True can't hold a fourth either. So you think that it's probably bad there for omgbanana, but it's still going to be that 3 base to 3 base. And True, a lot of his lava and resources have been going into attacking and banelings that blow up upon death.
Counterattack into this third base. We don't have any pulsar beam. There was a cannons though, and still just a lot of lings right there. Banelings also. Some banelings go off on DTs, I presume, on the right-hand side. At the same time, a whole bunch of banelings are morphing in, but this may be the prime opportunity for Banana to move in. There are not banelings currently with his main army. Only these overlords could actually potentially be worse, but beautiful feedbacks come out.
Oh my god!
Taking out as many queens as he can, and right now this army is looking very scary for Banana. Right outside the third base of True. True is desperately waiting for those banelings. Finally, they're done, and we may just see this gargantuan swarm forth
he needs a
onto
force
the
field
army of Banana.
Yeah, it's all going to be about the force fields. I think Banana could probably use a few of his units to go pressure the third, but he's just like in that position where he does not want to just get totally swarmed around by the army of True.
And I'm worried if there's going to be a counterattack that happens, and that's that split second he doesn't look at his army, and then that's when the banelings move in. He doesn't have the force field. It looks like True, he's preparing for maybe possibly a surround. You know what I'd love to see? The Oracles move in with his main army and start setting up different stasis wards right here.
The lurkers are done.
Oh, is there
That's going to make it a little bit more difficult.
Looks like out on the map we do have one observer. Yes, with the main army. There it is, and here's the big blink forward. There is no defensive blink. Link straight into some lurkers. Nice force fields go down.
Whoa.
One baneling does go off, but he managed to catch a couple lings and a kill. At the same time, we have a counterattack on the right-hand side, and True is setting up a counterattack also on the left-hand side, but I'm not sure if it's going to get anywhere with the rocks currently.
Yeah, I like that
it's going to pull almost all of the lings out of position right now. This is the perfect time for Banana to move in.
Yeah.
But he's retreating. Okay, oh.
Well, you see, is just trying to figure out if he wants to defend the base or if he just wants to kill True.
We can't quite teleport home to this, but I guess he does have the double Oracle for the defense. No flutter, no overcharge, nothing like this, and this is it. He's going to be moving in. He does have that one observer. He's got to be super careful not to lose it. Prime opportunity to jump on top of those lurkers, but he's going to opt
He doesn't. Yeah, he's so afraid.
You got to remember right here, he doesn't have vision, and he's playing, as we said, the #1 seed in this tournament. As maybe like number 16th seed right here, or maybe not that actually, because we're in the round of 8, but as not the #1 seed, you are so worried about this. He's trying to win this.
And he's down by a game. So if he loses this game, he's out of the tournament. Keep that in mind. So he doesn't want to blink in and all of a sudden just get completely wrecked.
But,
so,
I mean, he's just simply playing phenomenally at this point. Great decision-making. As you said, he's not a one-trick pony. He plays on the Korea server, and because of that, really, he's got this solid overall style. Moving in now to the right-hand side, he's going. At the same time, True's going to counterattack. But if those lings aren't with the main army, could that be disastrous? Do we even blink back? Oh, just takes them down before they even hit it. At this point, with that Ling Bane, as I was saying, doesn't quite have the larva, and I don't know if he's the economy to keep going. You mentioned both players are on 3 bases. You can't keep producing Banelings, then losing them. He has to switch to a more sustainable damage, the lurkers.
I think there were DTs at the third base of True as well. I don't think they killed anything, but yeah, True did bring everything over there. And now, he just is getting more and more lurkers. I think that Banana... He's trying to go into disruptors, but the problem that I see is that if he's never able to secure this fourth base, he's starting to mine out. I think his gases and his main and his nat, they have to be almost out by now. So, yeah, it's getting to that point where he's really not going to have a lot to at least produce that.
And while True has now been able to get into lurkers, as I said, the sustainable damage. He doesn't have to keep remaking Banelings, which was very worrisome for a long time. We actually have a drop in the main base of True at the same time that he's doing this counterattack at the third Nexus. Some Pulsar Beams are there. There's going to be a large warp in to defend. Both cannons go down. This is going to pull the entire army of Banana out of position to defend the third base, and now he's lost a lot of his map control. Easily, those lurkers could push up and try to take an engagement, but that's still a very scary army to go up against. Right now, OMG Banana has 118 army supply to the 100 of True.
Yes, and he has +2. True has +2 on melee, +1 there on the range, you can see. And the GTs are really the saviors of this
Revelation.
game. All right, he gets 1 lurker. I think he got the... Oh, watch out!
UG.
Wow, sniped. 420 no scope, straight up.
All right, we'll see. Looks like 1 lurker at the front of the army could have got sniped a little bit earlier. The Archon's deciding to take a different engagement with the main army. It's going to go clockwise around, or pardon me, counterclockwise to the 4th base.
Yeah, well... Those Banelings and the Overlords are really the most scary part about everything. I don't even know if he has sentries anymore. He does, and they have full energy, so Having that revelation is so crucial because True has no vision on the army here of omgbanana. So even if it's low economy, Banana still has a lot of minerals. Oh, transfusing that lurker actually very, very smartly. And this could be the engagement we've been waiting for. The Lings come around, but they are going to retreat.
So many Lings. 98 Lings currently out of the map. Earlier there was 150, literally 150 Lings out on the map, but they have managed, Banana has managed to knock down True a little bit in the course of this series. Finally, True has managed to solidify that 4th base, but at this point, I'd almost say for omgbanana, not necessarily to go for it, but each time he tries to take the 4th, then he gives an actual place for True to attack, for True to shut down, and he has to worry about defending it.
Every time, right? It's almost like maybe he should take the base, and then, yeah, he has the revelation on the Lings, set up a trap where he's able to at least kill these Lings that have been so annoying for him. So, True, now he's going to be the one that actually sets the trap. Yep.
Beautiful. And at the same time, we have another warp into the main base of True. Both players are starting to mine out. True does have a little bit of an edge on economy right now with his 4th base up. And it looks like in the middle of the map, we may see that one of those engagements, Lings have to fall back. It is a very, very even supply-wise. Finally, Banana has been able to secure that 4th base, and True is pulled completely back to defend. This is the prime time, a second prime time opportunity for omgbanana to move in and snipe a base, but he's just not quite going to do it. He's trying to play it so safe, which could be a detriment to his overall play. In 3 Lings, 4 Lings, he's going to pull his entire army back.
Oh, he might actually kill so many of the probes here, and probes are very valuable right now. The issue, of course, here for omgbanana is that True is going to continue to get so many lurkers as we continue to progress here. So
all the Lings move back once again to the main base. There are no lurkers at that 4th. All the Lings are pulled back. This is the primetime opportunity. I do like, though, that he took the base in the bottom left. Finally decided to do a little bit different, and True hasn't quite got vision on it yet.
Not yet. Now, can he actually attack into that? Oh, yeah, the lurkers are here now, because this is the base that True needs to defend.
There's not that many immortals either. There's not the really big punch to shut them down. 0.
Did he start making immortals? Because I think that would be what he needed, as well as even some of the charge lots to... He doesn't have charge, actually, but if he was able to get those disruptors out, I don't think it's going to be very feasible to support too many of them, unless he's able to get the gases at that 4th base. He could do it, though. Lurkers are trying to get in the front. Yeah, the Archons in the front, though. They can take out so many of the Lings, and the Force Fields are going to be able to trap so many of those Lings. They're all going to go down, and now I feel like Banana's feeling a little bit better about this. It's still that lurker count that I am so worried about.
Yeah, and especially with that base mining, right now True does have a source of income. If you check out the income tab, well, actually it's looking decent now. As Banana has managed to secure his base in the bottom left. Check that out. His 4th base finally has income, and now they're about even. 1,000 minerals a minute. Well, for a long time, it's about 1,000 minerals a minute for True, and maybe 200 to 300 for Banana. So now we can start warping in, reinforcing, or going for an attack into the main, pulling True out of position, and capitalizing off a situation that has occurred to him a few times, but he hasn't quite had the guts to go for it.
Yeah, it's so important that Banana protects that 4th base. I think it's just the fact that he needs it to support the disruptors. And once he gets a good amount of disruptors out and he can cycle out 2 disruptor shots at a time, that's going to be what takes out the lurkers slowly and steadily. Because if the lurkers just try to jump on top, he still has Archon, so he would be able to at least target fire some of them. He is going to get some of them here. True trying to burrow them right in the nick of time. True. Little force field like it's going to actually stop the spines of the lurkers. Come on, son.
Can't do that. The Lurker's in a position where you can't quite see them because of the large map architecture.
There we go.
Double Disruptor moves out. Picks off a few Lings, but right now the Disruptors, they have to be very careful not to have Banelings land straight on their head. But finally, Banana, he has a potent army composition. He's looking for a nice angle, waiting for those Disruptors to attack again. Nice force fields go out. Lurkers burrow down, but it's a prime position to shoot with those Disruptors onto the Lurkers if he can get that angle. But the main army of True pushed forward, pushed omgbanana back, and now is kind of sectioning him off from his main, natural, and 3rd base.
The zoning potential of the Lurkers is what you're going to be seeing here. Disruptors coming in from home, though, he could get some good hits, depending on if... Oh, man, if he's able to at least do that. Banana's moving forward into a field of Lurkers. Where is his observer? There it is.
3. He's playing it safe. He's got a full 3. He's got 4 with his main army. He's taking no chances.
No. And if Banana can hold at the top of his ramp with the Disruptors, he might be able to get lucky and get some really good hits and then keep this army alive. But we're going to go into almost a full base trade scenario because... Oh, wait.
True pulls back. True's going to go. Oh, True's going to go for the mining base right now. Remember, we do have DTs. He does have that one Overseer. Maybe if Banana can manage to snipe that. Layer goes down. The Lurker Den would be a great thing to pick up off the back of that.
Oh, my. And the fact that Banana does have so many observers, it's not going to be as big of a deal if he loses that one observer, right? So he,
the
he's
observers moving
the disruptor shots going in.
Beautiful hits. 1, 2, 3,
Whoa.
4, 5, 6 lurkers still left at that base, and there's banelings on the way. The 4th base was sniped of a banana. He's got 2 bases left, and now he's potentially in a precarious position where the lurkers could section him off into the main base, but he's not going to go for it. He takes the base in the bottom left-hand corner, and now it's coming down to buildings. Pylons, assimilators, Nexus. He's got to be so careful, Banana, and how he makes these buildings.
True is moving in into the base of Banana right now, and then Banana, I think he's actually pulling back. He never killed the 4th base, and
right,
he can hold down the ramp.
Does get off shot. Second one, maybe. If the second one goes off, it's going to make the other one very
True doesn't have any lurkers here. He's trying to retreat back to his 4th base, and if he gets on home, then we will have that situation where True has the 23 workers. He can mine from that base, start to mine from the gas, and continue to make those lurkers, even though the disruptor count is starting to get a bit higher.
And
I don't know.
At the moment, we have how many disruptors? Looks like we have a total of 4 disruptors and 4 lurkers.
Yes, True was able to take out that base on the bottom left, but Banana wasn't able to take out the base in the top right. Or in the middle
up his army. I kind of like this. I'm not
Are
sure
those
if I
the
like
only
this
buildings
splitting up
too
the
of
army. It's a little
True?
bit precarious. Let's check out the buildings. True has 1 hatch, 1 infestation pit, 1 spine, 2 spores, and 2 extractors.
So like this base is what he needs to break.
He's got a lot. It's this base on the right-hand side.
Banana going back. I think he felt like he couldn't break it. This is the last bastion of defense for True, and he is at a point where the longer it goes, the better it will be for him. Even though he's limited by larva, and I think his tech. All he can make are like swarm hosts or infestors, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, now we can make something else.
Now he can make something. The DTs in the main base had sniped that much earlier on. I do like that we have the infestors, those for fungals, because then you can shut down the army. But then you have a situation where, oh crap, I guess I just suicide the disruptors and send the disruptors out. And as I said, only 4 lurkers out on the map. Easily, if those lurkers die, there's enough DPS in Banana's army to take True down. But True does have a slight economy lead. But, I mean, he's got a population lead,
Banana.
but it's mostly because of the 21 workers
and now
he
True
has.
Not army all about disruptors here. And he's going to be able to shoot a few.
Don't go too far.
Oh my god, that's a decent hit. Now he knows exactly where they are. He's going to get a pretty good one here. One of the lurkers goes down. Now look at the army supply, Dronok. It is 80 to 78. It is so close. It's all about the money. True doesn't want to just make lings right now, you know.
It goes down to the nice
my
hit.
God.
Investor's still alive. Supplies have been almost evened up. Finally, Banana decides to move in on the right-hand side. He's trying
There's
to
not that
snipe
many
the infestation
lurkers.
pool. Banana can do it, guys.
There's only 3 lurkers right now.
3 lurkers?
Yeah, it's all about focus.
Go away. Nice fungals. Goes down. Now the banelings are moving in. They've been alive for so long. Disruptors move out. The banelings pull back. 2 disruptor shots go out, but it's just enough to pull the banelings back. And the OMG Banana kind of is clear of that potential shot. The infestors use their energy, and this is the time for him to move in. Looks like he's going to take the high ground, shoot down from that high ground to start raining down fire onto the worker line.
Oh, this is so tense right now, Dronok. Here goes another disruptor shot.
Disruptor shot. Hydras. 4.
They get pulled off.
Infestor's still alive.
And another shot.
Another nice shot.
Oh.
Still doing damage, but the banelings are finally starting. Beautiful infestation.
These trades are so good. The disruptor shots are absolutely phenomenal right now.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, the banelings finally. The overlords go down. The banelings drop.
He's going to take out that overlord that had all of the banelings in it, and now True has like 1 lurker. 11 lings in a Hydra.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is 1-0. True is in the lead, but Banana, he is so close.
He's so close. He needs to make the move right now.
I don't believe the base in the bottom left, though, so he lost his
that a while ago. Yeah.
Base.
This is basically what he needs to do right now. True has the other base in the top right, but he has no tech. He can't make anything, and now this base is going to go down. The lair is going to go down, too. Down goes that last lurker. Oh my god. True is going to go for another desperation counterattack on the top side. I think Banana might be able to pull this one off.
Gotta kill that hatch. That's the last building right there. The hatch, we only have 1 hatch.
That's the only building on the map.
He does not know where it is right now, but he can safely assume where True attacks is where his next base is going to be because he wants to fall back onto that to defend.
He knows.
Next is left, the only base, and he's going to go home to defend. He lost his mothership core a long time ago, so there is no... Oh, he's trying to blink. He's got to get that drone. Lots of drones. There's the last drones. 12 drones are out of the map. That is 6, I think.
Yeah, those are a few drones that are over there. True does have a lot of money. His base is actually getting ransacked, you know, even though it's only a few lings and hydras. He needs to be so careful right now.
He has 0 probes
he
out. He could make
probes.
1 more worker and make an assimilator. He does have the Nexus in his main base. If he could get a worker out and somehow make that assimilator, it could be good. But right now, the drones...
I don't think he has enough for an assimilator. Like, he needs to really take this seriously. Banana can't get too focused on these drones because those are his last buildings.
Those are the only buildings. Literally, we have 1 hatch right now. It's the only thing that's still alive. That 1 hatch right there.
Yeah, he needs to go home. He absolutely needs to. I don't think those lings and hydras will kill it too quick. Burrow. I mean,
Burrow's on the way. I mean, it could be interesting. We do have some
I don't know.
observers. I guess if we snipe the observers, but right now he's got to go kill that. We have another hatch in the bottom left, another hatch in the bottom right. Still True has money to keep making hatches, and right now, omgbanana, he's going to pull back, and maybe that's the right decision. If he can hold his base in this main, there's no army supply left for True. It is 21 army supply to the 64 of omgbanana. Looks like he needs to keep the Nexus alive. He needs to keep the
force field, and he does save the Nexus. And now, True, you know, he's at 8 drones. Banana's army is just so...
What is the army? True has 6 lings.
Yeah.
6 lings, 5 army supply in total.
Well, True, you know...
8 lings now.
He's only down to 7 drones because he's making hatcheries with each one of them. So it's mainly like a way of making Banana go around the map and then somehow getting into the base of True and then killing it.
I think he may have done it.
I think so. Honestly,
we have 7 drones left, but he's got to be so careful. I mean, he's been a little bit indecisive before tempo, and he's got to be so careful not to do that, not to allow anything. But I think in this position, he may have taken it as 1-0, and omgbanana may have the opportunity to be able to get it 1-1, even up the score against the #1 seed in Cheesadelphia Summer 2016.
Wow, this is a pretty phenomenal game so far. Very patient play out of both players, I would say. It came down to really just like keeping that 4th alive or dead. And honestly, this is True kind of saying like, okay, if there any kind of way that I can get into the main of omgbanana, force him around the map to kill my hatcheries, and then kill the rest of the buildings.
Ling. Oh, this is going to be
one ling.
Rambo Ling!
You can do it!
Banana evens it up 1-1. The 9th seed takes a game off of the 1st seed in Cheesadelphia Summer 2016 and 1 game away from moving on to the round of 4.
What a game. I mean, honestly,
what a game.
I always say it. I root for that game 3. I always root for that underdog. But
always take that potassium. Get that potassium.
Eat that banana. Don't even peel it. Don't even peel that banana. Eat it. My God.
My man.
Hot damn. Man. That is a hot damn worthy moment right there.
Oh, and he's got to take a break. We may go to a little break, ladies and gentlemen. He's got to stand up.
Very, very intense game.
What happened in game 1, by the way? I'm trying to remember.
It was the Baneling drops. Obliterating the
he was
economy.
He was playing really well up until that point, like really, really well. And then there was one Baneling drop that got in. He moved out. But up until then, there was simply phenomenal map awareness. Right before the Overlord moved in, we'd see omgbanana catch it. And as I said, the 1st seed versus the 9th, it's now 1-1 in a best of 3. The winner of the, or actually, wait, we're in the, it's still best of 3 in the round of 8. Yes. In the round of 4, it does go to a best of 5, it's the semifinals, and in the finals, it is a best of 7. But right now, it's going to come down to one last game.
Indeed. So, I believe they're collecting themselves, but honestly, I think we all need to kind of just...
Oh, yeah.
It's just one of those things because, like, honestly... True Sidestorm, one of the favorites to win it, and then you see someone go ahead and take a game. Good stuff, guys. We'll be back really, really shortly as they get ready to go to game 3.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Cheesadelphia Summer 2016. We are currently in the round of 8 and in Game 3 of a crazy series. Tempo, what's up?
Absolute insanity that last game. The hype is real right now. And we are already going into it, guys and gals. It is Galactic Process here in the top right-hand corner. The favorite to win the tournament. A blue Zerg player representing Psystorm Gaming. It is true.
And the underdog in the bottom left-hand corner, representing Team Ascension, one of the sponsors, the yellow Protoss player able to even it up last game 1-1. It is omgbanana.
That potassium. All right, well, here we go. It is going to be the final map here in this best of 3 series. Round of 8. omgbanana showing that, you know, he's a very, very patient player in the mid game, and that is how you need to play. You can never rush an engagement into drop banes and all that. So, you know, I think it's just such good games. I just love whenever we have such a game like that.
Oh,
whoa,
true.
My man!
I was saying in the break to Tempo, I was a little bit worried maybe there'd be a 12 pull or something like that from True, but True is going to go for a proxy hatch. And remember, on this map, it's not going to be easy to get a wall. It's not like maybe you can get a wall and defend something. It's that it's very open, easily Lings can get in right here. If that hatch goes down, whatever, it's going to be very hard to do anything against this. Yeah,
this is a really good move out of True, though. Being able to kind of take Banana out of his comfort zone, because he's probably really hyped right now, like, I just took a map off, let's get it. He has a plan. Guess what? That plan already has been foiled simply because of this hatchery getting put down, kind of similarly to how you see the pylon get put down by the Protoss, you know what I mean? So, True, gonna go ahead and start this out with a very, very wonky opening. I do love proxy hatches, and I don't think he'll let it finish. It's more of a delay.
Oh, makes another one. Actually makes the Evo chamber on top of the creep and may even be able to get that drone. Looks like the drone is going to pull back. The probe's going to keep fighting it and better not be able to make another one right here. Jukes the probes. Probes go after it. And he's still being able to deny that Nexus for an incredible amount of time. Off the back of this, True secures a third hatch.
That was a really sick opener out of True, by the way. Just delaying that by so long forced the Zealot to come out at the same time. And then he also goes and he takes 2 hatcheries behind it. So not too bad. What has Banana got for, I think he just had the gateway in the Cybercore, and the Nexus just now started.
Yeah, that is just finishing up, and he's got the gas income, though, so his tech isn't going to be delayed. His economy will be, but we know Protoss, they love their tech. Unlike Game 1, or pardon me, Game 2, last game saw an early Adept push. That was 30, 40 minutes ago that we saw that happen. That was a very long game.
Wow.
And after an assimilator was taken by an extractor from True, but not quite this game. The natural is delayed. Stargate is on the way, though, for the aggression. And I presume if an Overlord gets there in time, because we have an Overlord on the right-hand side, there's the Scout. That True will play similar to Game 1, pump out a lot of Queens, so hold in that manner.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're going to see if that's exactly how he decides to deal with Stargate. And the last time, it was a... How many Queens did he go to? I think we counted
13.
it. 13 Queens. Wow.
Oh, the Adept's going to not quite get that creep to him, where Shade's back, runs in, then Shade's to the third base. Just being annoying as possibly as it can, because you got to remember, that third hatch, that cuts into Lings, that cuts into whatever you're making. Even though it delayed omgbanana a little bit more, the Adept had a window of opportunity. Get in, get a Scout, identify its 3 hatches from True at the moment. And now, how does omgbanana respond to this, Tempo?
Well, he's going to still try to go for Oracle, and I don't really know about it, because I think at this point, if you're going to go for a Stargate opener and then you go for the Oracle, it's past the time where you might be able to catch True off guard, I would think. He's already making 3 Queens at a time. So we'll see if he decides to even make that Spore Crawler, or if he just decides to go for the Queen defense once more. This I really like out of True, though. Already working on those rocks.
Opening up a potentially very early attack path, and what I like even more is that could go down in the Nexus. I'm not sure if it's going to be able to see it even if it finishes, like those rocks could go down. It looks like on the mini-map, hey, they're still up, ready to, and that would put True in a great position, ready to go in for another attack later on in this game.
And you know how good he is with the counterattacks, right? True, a master when it comes to that counterattack style, dropping Lings and Banes everywhere. We see him get a very, very late lair a lot of the time, so still going for this Stargate, even if it's Phoenix, I think, would be a little bit more effective. That Oracle is going to get taken down by True, and his creep spread is already connecting to the third. So continuing with Oracles, I'm not exactly sure how successful he's going to be. Because if he were to go for Phoenixes, at least he could get some of the Overlords out of the map.
Ooh, I like the Stasis Ward. He spots the rocks and then going to be at a third health Forge also on the way, and lots of drones coming out at the moment for True. He just made 11 drones in total. Heavy Queen style will be good versus these Adepts, with the Adepts have a small window of opportunity to get some kills. So
Yep.
go exclusively for the drones. They shaded back, so they will be able to fall back. Looks like they're not going to get another kill. Oh, and they commit to the engagement. They go for more drones.
This is a really good push out of omgbanana. He gets 6 drones. I believe that was only 4 Adepts, correct? And
That was 4 Adepts.
yeah, not bad at all. Keeping True occupied, down by about 8 workers, and omgbanana is dropping down gateways right under the nose of True, who has an Overlord right inside of the main.
Sees the possible attack. Twilight Council is going to be going for Blink. Now, we did see Resonating Glaives move out in game 1, so True may think that's on the way, but we'll have to see how that actually starts to scale. Ling start going for the rocks, and once that goes down, you could see a push into this base, but a Stasis Ward's already ready. A Void Ray will be out. You have a Stalker, and you have a Warpin. It looks like omgbanana is going to have a very solid defense against these attacks that True used to be doing. You got to remember, this is his shroud. This is his defense of all the bases he's taking. True just took 2 extra hatches. A little bit greedy for him.
Yeah, he's just taking them around the map, and I wonder if this is mainly just to make it so that omgbanana doesn't have that option of only killing one base and then all of a sudden True
Fighting different targets.
Yeah, exactly. On opposite sides at the same time.
Oh, is there a wall? I was talking about this a little earlier. It looks like there is a wall, but it's not going to matter. A couple of probes are intercepted, and that's going to even up the score somewhat of at least killed. We have 75 drones, even though 6 were killed.
75?
With a 56 of omgbanana. Man, True, he's not going to no 66 on 3 bases. He's going 4 to 5 bases, securing the gold base. And really, omgbanana, I feel like he needs to stop this because not only is there a massive amount of more income, but it allows True to play pure Ling Bane, and he loves that so much. Larva.
He really does, and the fact that he is going to be able to support it as well is very, very scary. I know it's a bit more difficult to sometimes... Oh my god, he gets on top of all of the sentries. They're not going to actually get force fields out in time, and down they go. omgbanana has to defend on 2 fronts right now. The third, no energy on the Oracle. He's losing a lot of probes right now, Drenok.
Oh, it's so much harder to defend on this map than the last map. And with your 3rd base was the natural. And it looks like the Lings are going to get into that 3rd base. 7 workers going down in total, looking for an attack, looking to surround that Nexus, maybe even going for that pile. But they go into the Stasis Ward. A couple of them are frozen, and the rest are going to retreat. But on this map, it's a completely different story than what we saw on the last one. Was it not King Sejong Station? Or yeah, it was? Or no?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, King Sejong Station. Or no, yeah, it was King Sejong Station. Pardon me. Wasn't sure. But with that map, you, of course, do have your natural. It's very easy to defend that. You're not going to get to the main. You can wall that off simply. And then your 3rd is a little harder. But on this map, it's 10 times harder. There's 2, possibly 3 different attack paths, and you have to be much more careful as a Protoss to decide which one to defend. And now the Link push is happening. Link's pushing into there, and +1 just about a few seconds away. If they can take down that pylon, there's the way to the main of the natural.
And it unpowers all of the gateway, or at least one of the gateways. And now the Lings are inside of the main. And also at the 3rd base, True is attacking on so many different fronts right now, and it looks like Banana is having a bit of difficulty dealing with everything. He gets it on 2 fronts, but here comes the last one. Can he hold without taking too much damage, though?
What I'm more worried about is this 17 mutas currently on the way.
Yes.
True has managed to disrupt the economy of omgbanana, disrupt his kind of style, the strategy he was going for in and of itself, and has played relatively undeterred. Yes, he took some early worker kills, but with those 4 Adepts sacrificing themselves for 6 workers, it allowed Lings to get into the 3rd, to pull him out of position, and a lot of these small things to start happening. True is going completely uncontested, and it now has got up to potentially the ultimate composition in this game.
And remember, that War Prism was causing so much trouble with the DTs in the last game. True going mutas right now. omgbanana, I think he was so focused on Ling Bane that he was making more sentries, making more zealots, and also a few Adepts here and there. He does not have the answers to mutas, not even close. He only has 1 Stargate, and I believe...
Mothership
the Mothership Core!
No charges.
Yep. You need the Mothership Core to defend right now. Like, how is he going to defend so many different places?
Oh, I like the hallucinated Archons. The mutas are not going to try to engage that. Instead, go for the Ardosis Pylon! 6, 7 gates are going to be unpowered. We have 1 Phoenix, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a round of 8,
sure.
1-1, but I believe in omgbanana. You need the crowd to cheer if he's got any chance of doing anything here with this base trade.
Oh, this is such a difficult situation. He doesn't have really any anti-air. The Phoenix got taken out. The Stargate was unpowered. Every one of these probes are going to get taken out. There are just far too many mutas in the sky. And even if he just went across the map, I bet he could take out the army, but he doesn't even need to do that yet. He has to get through so many bases, omgbanana does, before he's even in jeopardy.
It's a 1-to-1 right here, and as you said even before we started, True is antsy, like, come on, let's get going. He knew on this map, he knew exactly what he was going to do, take down those back rocks, and simply so many attack paths to get into the main, natural in third. GG, well played,
True
good luck in the
advances
tourney.
to the
True,
semifinals.
2-1, advances to the semifinals. But Banana takes
Crazy
the
new to
game.
play. I love how he switched the tech. OMG Banana's thinking more like, oh, you know, Ling drops.
Oh, yeah.
How am I going to deal with that? How am I going to deal with this heavy ground composition that gets wrecked by, you know, Zealots, Archons? True drops the Spire. I don't think that Banana was
Really
expecting
quickly,
that.
yeah.
Straight out of left field.
Very hard to defend on Banana's part, the map, at least in Galactic Process. Very hard to defend when those rocks are taken down. True, executed great, 2-1. However, we did see the 9th seed in this tournament, and even somewhat an unknown player on the Korean server take a game off of True in a really spectacular long macro
something
game.
to say. Warren said if True dropped a map to anybody else except for Bales and Kelazor, he would eat a sock on stream.
He did.
Your boy OMG Banana took that game too. Warren, I will see you when I get home, and I want to tune into that stream because socks are not very tasty, my friend.
We will be right back, ladies and gentlemen, after this short break for some more StarCraft 2 action. That's Tempo. I am Trenok, and this is Cheesadelphia Summer 2016.